Talk to me about what the city experienced yesterday.
Um, Obviously, we're all aware of the significant weather that hit Van Zandt County and the Kaufman County district. Intense rain, hail at one point, high winds. That led to being in such a rural area of Texas. They're flood lanes. They're prone. So we had a substantial amount of rainfall in a short period of time that obviously led to some intense flooding in a south quadrant of our city. While receiving calls and conducting welfare checks and stranded motorists, we received a call for a welfare check in the roughly 1400 block of Pecan Avenue, where a family of four was requesting assistance to be removed from their house due to the high waters and the flooding into the home. Upon arriving, I was able to get, approximately about a half a mile from the home, and then at that point, after that, I had to get out, exit the vehicle, and tread the water down to the residents to get a further evaluation. At that point in time of getting to their exterior property fence, the water was over 4.5 feet tall, chest level to myself. At that time, I advised Van Zandt County of the situation at hand, called for some additional resources. Our volunteer fire department here came out strong with half a dozen or so firemen. Our city marshal had came out due to hearing and observing the weather, and all of us conjointly together got an operations plan together, and we conducted a high water rescue. There we were able to retrieve 2 adult males, 2 adult females, and 2 household dogs. And we're glad to say that everyone was able to be removed safely. And at this time, at 1:30 this afternoon, we have not had any reports of any substantial loss, no loss of life, and or any injuries at this time. So that's going to kind of be everything in a nutshell from that.
So there may be some potential flooding over the weekend. How is the city prepping for that?
For the public works, I cannot speak on their behalf, but I can tell you that they do work often of clearing the ditches, the debris and roadways that as much as they can throughout the weeks, and especially throughout the times like this. Unfortunately, it is this time of year for us. It's spring is coming, so flooding, and again, being in the rural part of Texas and the East Texas, there is floodplains, and unfortunately, where this one residence was, it is zoned a floodplain by the Van Zandt County CAD. So, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot, we can do with that, but, Public Works and the city, they do work hand in hand with each other, and, and relate to us of, things that occur, of what could be any potential risk, and, we just plan accordingly as we can.
So what's your advice to residents over the weekend?
Kind of like I told someone else, if you see something, say something, turn around, don't drown. I know those sound stereotypical, but it is the safest avenue. If you do happen to get caught in this in your vehicle, call 911. Try to get to the roof. If it's incoming in your car, try to get to the rooftop of your vehicle. If you're in a truck, same thing. If you're at home, try to stay in the home. If you're taking on a bunch of water, try to get to the highest point inside your house and call for help, and we will send what available resources that we have.
Anything else you want to add?
We greatly appreciate the community. All of our first responders here, and not alone Wills Point, but Van Zandt County. They all came out strong last night of the rural area for this county and the city. The sheriff's office helped tremendously around taking calls. The constable's office, our city marshal, our volunteer fire department, our police department. Everybody, DPS, everybody was adequately working together. To make last night most successful as we could.